So good morning to all of you students. Today we are going to start the new unit, that is design of retaining walls. Okay, the purpose of retaining wall generally is earth retain structure, and which is used generally in road, railways and building basements, okay, to retain the soil. So generally when road is going to construct, along the road some passage access have to provide. In that case b- bridge is provided. To provide the bridge, along to at the edges of the bridge we have to provide the retaining wall. Okay, and when we are going to provide the bridge we have to give certain heights, and when you are going to give certain heights you have that much height of retaining wall you have to provide at end. And when you are going to provide that much height of retaining wall, that much amount of soil you are going to resist. Okay, that the retaining wall should resist, retain that amount of soil there. And to retain that soil we have to design the structure, and the structure is called as a retaining wall. Okay, so this is typical retaining wall, which having the stem. This is stem. Okay, and this is toe slab, and this is heel slab. This is backfill, and drain is provided here, and some weep holes are also provided. Okay, and basically there are major two types of retaining wall. Okay, first is a cantilever retaining wall, and second is a counterflow retaining wall. The difference between the cantilever retaining wall and counterflow retaining wall, the behavior of the stem in the retaining wall. This is stem. We are going to see the cantilever retaining wall and the counterflow retaining wall. So see here. So here is the difference between the counterflow retaining wall, cantilever retaining wall and counterflow retaining wall. So these are the two types of retaining wall. Two types of retaining wall here. Okay, stem and so cantilever retaining wall. This is stem. This is stem. Okay, this is toe slab, and this is heel slab, and this is cantilever retaining wall. Why it is called as a cantilever retaining wall? When the height of this retaining wall, the total height of this retaining wall, when is up to 4.5 to 5 meter, in that case this cantilever retaining wall is provided. Okay, and why it is called as a cantilever retaining wall? Because the behavior of the stem. Okay, here this upward side we are going to provide here soil. Okay, here we are going to put the soil, and this is downstream downside, that is toe slab here, and here we are going to put the soil. So when soil pressure is going to act here, lateral pressure going to act on the stem, and stem is going to behave like this, or going to bend like this. And the failure action of this stem, okay, it the movement occur in the stem is cantilever movement, and that's why this retaining wall is called as a cantilever retaining wall, because the behavior of the stem is going to act as a cantilever. Okay, and second type of retaining wall here, second type of retaining wall is a counterflow retaining wall. Why it is called as a counterflow retaining wall? So here when the height, okay, of retaining wall is more than 4.5 to 5 meter, the total height of retaining wall is more than 4.5 to 5 meter, in that case this counterflow retaining wall is used. And why it is used not than a cantilever retaining wall? Because when the height is more, in that case the movement due to this stem will be more, and if movement will be more, the reinforcement required is also more, and there is no economy achieved in this case. So to achieve the economy also, and to give the strengthening to this stem here, the new part in this retaining wall is provided, and that part or that new member is called as a stem, and this is stem here. So this is stem. So this is stem. This is the width of stem. Okay, and this structure is called as a this element is called structure. This element called as a counterfort. So here you can see this is counterfort. This is counterfort. Okay, the role of counterfort is that when we are going to put soil here, when we are going to put the soil is going to resist the pressure, okay, or the movement on this stem. But now in cantilever type retaining wall there is no such counterforce to hold this stem. Okay, so in difference in counterfort retaining wall, to hold this stem and to hold this heel slab, okay, this counterfort is going to hold these two this stem and this heel slab, and due to that the action of this cantilever action here is not cantilever now, the moment is not cantilever now, because this stem having the two supports. That's why now this stem is going to act as a continuous slab. The moment will be the like continuous slab, and that moment you are going to consider maximum WL square by 12 comparative to WL square by 2. WL square by 12 moment is less, and that's why the thickness of stem and as well as the reinforcement required for the stem is less due to provision of this counterfort. And same thing is happen with the heel slab also, because this is also going to as a continuous slab, and here is also thickness and reinforcement is going to reduce. So this is, here are two types, one is a cantilever retaining wall and second is a counterfort retaining wall. Okay, now next thing is the earth pressure, how earth pressure is going to act on a cantilever. Okay, so sorry, cantilever retaining wall first. So earth pressure how to act on the stem, that we are going to see. So stem here, the earth pressure is going to, as per Rankine's theory, okay, if the backfill finished horizontally at top level according to Rankine's theory, the earth pressure on stem from backfill, active earth pressure at h small h below the top of wall is given by. So here if you are going to consider I will show you. See how to calculate earth pressure now. So earth pressure on stem, when you are going to design the stem, calculation of earth pressure. So as per Rankine's theory, in this cantilever retaining wall, when the pressure we are going to calculate on the stem, the pressure is going to act on a stem like this. Soil pressure, lateral earth pressure is going to act like this. Okay, and this value here, Ka into gamma into small h, if you are going to consider this value, height of stem, if you are going to consider as a small h. Okay, so if you are going to consider this as a small h, so this is K into gamma h and this is h. So how to calculate the earth pressure? So here this pH value, this pH force we are going to calculate by considering the base pressure 1/2 base of this triangle. So base of this triangle is Ka into gamma into small h. This is 1/2 base and height is small h. So this total here, this value 1/2 total horizontal pressure 1/2 into Ka into gamma into small h square. So this is horizontal pressure. Okay, so this is horizontal pressure here, k into gamma into h square. So this is base, k into gamma h, 1 by area of the triangle 1 by 2 base into height of triangle we have considered as h, because we are calculating, when we are going to calculate the pressure on the stem only. Okay, so this is force, and here they have shown this force. See here, the earth pressure, they have whatever the earth pressure they have calculated. So this is pressure here, k is equal to pressure k into gamma h, and force they have calculated like this here, ph is equal to 1 by 2 k into gamma into h square. So this thing they have calculated here, and this is nothing but the pressure. Which pressure? The pressure which going to act on the stem, horizontal pressure. So this value is due to soil. So this is nothing but a pH. Okay, this pH, and this value is this k 1 by 2 into k into gamma into h square. Okay, so this is total earth pressure is going to see earth force going to act on the retaining wall. So now this is base pressure k into gamma h, already we have seen. Now the coefficient of active earth pressure. So as you people know, the coefficient of active earth pressure, the formula here 1 minus sin phi divided 1 plus sin phi. Here phi is the angle of friction of backfill of soil, and gamma is unit weight of backfill. Thus the varies, so thus it is varies linearly from 0 at top, k into gamma h. Okay, so the sentence meaning is like this. This is earth pressure diagram, and maximum here ka into gamma into h, if you are going to consider the full height of retaining wall. So here it says that 0 at top pressure, it is varies linearly 0 at top and bottom k into gamma h at bottom of the stem, hence horizontal pressure of at pressure of stem. Okay, so this total here p is equal to 1 by 2 k into gamma h1. Here h1 they have considered full height. Okay, if they have, if you are going to consider whole retaining wall, in that case we have to consider this is h1 square. And in case of after getting this maximum pressure p here and the movement, this is ph value we have calculated, and if you know the we have the force, so we have to calculate Cg where that force is going to act. So this force is going to act h by 3. So this is h by 3. So this is total height of retaining wall. This is total height of retaining wall h. Okay, so here movement 1 by 2 k into gamma into h1 square. This is p force, already we have seen, and this is h1 by 3. So h1 by 3 is this. So this total movement on retaining wall, stem will be this 1 by 6 k into gamma into h1 cube, and by considering this moment we are going to design the stem. Okay, so these are the main important thing while designing the stem, that we have to calculate the pressure and then we have to calculate the moment. Okay, now the important thing while designing the retaining wall, okay, any structure, the structure which is related with the water and or structure which is contact with the soil, such structures we have to design for stability. Okay, the stability means that structure should not leave its place. Okay, and when structure is not going to stable means the structure is going to fail. See here, in retaining wall it is not sufficient if you are designing the section for various parts or movements. Here it is necessary to check the retaining wall for the following two complete things. And stability means structure is not going to hold its original position and it lose its original position due to two things. First is overturning and second is sliding. Okay, overturning about the toe and second is sliding. So first thing we are going to see what is meant by overturning. The earth pressure on the stem causes overturning moment about toe. the weight of backfill or surcharge self weight of retaining wall causes the stability moment about the toe. Hence the factor of safety against overturning is given by F1 is equal to ms divided by m0, that is stability moment, and this is overturning moment. Okay, we are going to see this in detail while we are solving the problem. Okay, so this is stability moment and this is overturning moment. Here m0 overturning moment is about toe. It is stabilizing moment due to a minimum factor of safety 1.4 given in IS 456. Okay, and only 0.9 times the characteristic dead load shall be taken into consideration. So while calculating the factor of safety, 0.9 into stability moment divided by overturning moment, and this value should be more than 1.5. And what is meant by overturning of the retaining wall is I'm going to show you here. If this is cantilever retaining wall, and due to this force, see here, due to this force here, movement is going to occur, and due to movement about the toe, if you are going to consider this point O, about this toe, there is a chance of this retaining wall should overturn. Okay, and to avoid this overturning, we have to take the check, and we have to ensure that the stability moment will be, and the moment due to which this overturning happen, this moment is called as a m0. This moment is called as a m0, that is overturning moment, and we have to calculate based upon the weight of soil and sizes self weight of retaining wall the value of stability moment. Okay, and I just say that the ratio of stability moment to overturning moment, while considering the 90% characteristic load here, that ms value, the value should be more than 1.4, and then structure is safe in overturning. Okay, so this is concept of the overturning of retaining wall. And second thing, sliding. What happens in a sliding here also, the structure is going to lose its position, it not remain in its place. One thing is due to the overturning, and second thing, structure may do not hold its original position due to sliding, means structure is going to slide. This retaining wall may move like this than its original position, that's its original position due to the sliding. And why sliding occurs? Sliding occurs due to friction coefficient, that is mu. Okay, if the value of mu, this is depend upon the value of mu, the coefficient friction between the concrete and soil. Okay, and this force is causes this force, horizontal pressure, horizontal force which you have calculated, this force is going to push this retaining wall, okay, towards the soil. And then in that case, which thing is going to counteract this to avoid the structure should not slide? So the structure self weight causes, that is W. Okay, so if we have the value of pH, the horizontal force, total lateral force is going to act on the retaining wall, the self weight of backfill and the self weight of retaining wall should resist this sliding. And again, as 4/6 say that the ratio of W to pH, okay, this value, the ratio is first mu, coefficient friction between the soil and concrete, into W, that is self weight, and then the pH. So factor of safety ratio, this ratio should be more than 1.5, again while considering the W total weight, that only 90% we have to consider as per IS 456. So here they have said sliding also the horizontal pressure pH on the stem. So this pH value, the horizontal pressure H stem tries to slide the retaining wall away from the backfill. This is resisted by the fractional force between the soil and heel and toe slab. If mu is the coefficient of friction and the summation W, this W is total weight, the maximum resisting friction force is F is equal to mu into summation of W. If the pH is the total horizontal force, then the factor of safety against sliding is given by F2 is equal to mu into summation of W into pH. And again, as prior 4.6 all told you, this value is 0.9 mu, a summation of all W. So F2 is equal to 0.9 mu into summation of W into pH. Okay, and this value should be more than 1.5. So remember that the factor of safety for sliding and overturning as per IS 456-2000 is 1.4. Okay, and if structure is fail in overturning, so we have to increase the weight of retaining wall, we have to increase the size of stem, toe slab and heel slab. Okay, there is no other option. And when the structure is fail in sliding, we can provide a shear key here. Okay, and by providing the shear key, due to this passive earth pressure, we are going to resist passive earth pressure going to resist, we can control the sliding. Okay, so this is about the overturning and sliding check in a retaining wall. And next important thing is a depth of foundation. How we are going to calculate the depth of foundation in retaining wall. Okay, so here this is typical sketch of retaining wall, the cantilever retaining wall. Here H is equal to overall height. Here H is equal to overall height. H1 is equal to height of stem. H2 is the distance of retaining wall above ground, and generally in exam you people are going to, this data is given, and then you have to calculate this value, that y, and y is nothing but the depth, minimum depth. Okay, depth of foundation required, and for that you have to use for this formula, y minimum is equal to q0 divided by gamma into k1 square. So q0 is SBC of soil, gamma is equal to density of soil, and K is equal to active earth pressure. And by using this formula this formula Ym formula, we are going to get this Y value. Okay, so today we are going to stop here. Next lecture we are going to see how to design the cantilever retaining wall. Okay, and what are the thumb rules for deciding the various dimension of retaining wall. Okay, today we are going to stop here. Thank you.